here in the entry hallway. Entry doors right back over there. In the framing stage and the demo stage, we opened this whole area up. It had a barrel vault. It had a closet in here, so you entered off center. Now over here was a 3/4 thick tongue and groove wall that socketed in here, and there was a door here to the basement. This bench was here. You can see it's still old, but there was a panel here that went up like that. So that was all enclosed. So one of the things we did, you'll see we have this new glass door here. We're putting in a window there, much delayed due to COVID. So when you walk in the front door, you have a great sight line to the exterior. You're going to get a lot of light coming through. So we wanted to preserve that. So we're leaving this open here, and we've opened this up here. So in order to do that, we sort of had to look around, see what the existing details were, and then make them work for us. So for example, if you look in here, you'll see that these spindles, which we're having a couple of these reproduced for downstairs, they land on, whatever you want to call this, a stringer, a closed stringer. Basically a 1x10. We have a little upturned base cap, a little bit of a 1/2-inch molding, and then we have a piece of 3/4 with a bull nose on it and a little bit of a fillet edge there. So we take that detail there, and we're going to reproduce that over there. So all we did here is essentially reproduce the exact same thing here. The base cap that we're using in the house is actually really similar to the molding that they used here and here. Just slightly different, but not enough to notice. So we have that, ran that here, just sort of picked a height that felt good to us. And then we're going to turn that over here, and that becomes the guardrail for our stairs. So I basically set this 34.5 off the nosing down there, kept the angle, ran it down here so that they start and end at the same thing. And that little jog there, we kept that on the panel molding on the other side. The newel posts we made on site and the caps we made on site. It's essentially a piece of base cap, upturned. We slightly modified the base cap we're using in this house to look closer to this one. And then we made these caps ourselves. We only had to make 2 of them, so it didn't make sense to send out for that and really take that long. But a bit of a head scratcher anyway. Couldn't really do it with the router, had to basically do it by hand. Over here, we basically carried this straight through to here. So we have our very similar base cap here. We have that 3/4 here. We have that OG here. And then we just added a bit here to sort of terminate it. Just sort of to sweep it down, give it a little bit of a elegance. And then this all terminates into here, which is actually 3 angles and a curve. So kind of have to close your eyes on this one and go. There's no measuring. So we come on down here, and what we had in the past, this bench has a bizarre cantilever down here, and so we figured out a cool way to resolve that. On this side of the stairwell, we need to resolve the overhang of this bench. You'll also notice we extended this post. We have the original post here and the original post there, and they're actually fairly well lined up. This post we installed is not 100% level, but it is straight and it does look level, which is more important than being level. So on the back side here, we copied the detail that's on the stringers. So it's just a straight board into that flat thing with the bull nose on it. So we copied that here, so it simplifies it. As you're going out of the basement, we simplify the complicated detail over here. But we have this weird overhang. So in order to do that, you want to kind of return it back. So we just popped in a piece of crown. That catches the post, which we extended here. You'll see all our filler here. We still got a little more work to do on this. That crown returns into here, and then we'll have a flat panel here so that this will actually look great instead of looking weird, which is what it looked like before. So we just carried it back, put a little flat stock with an OG on it, and then we'll drop a little panel in there. But we're out of MDO here, so I haven't done that yet. Over here, we are working on replicating this side of the staircase over here. We originally had a door here. The original plan was to open up this whole wall, but that created a couple of issues. One, we would have to engineer a beam in here, and two, it didn't really serve a function because you take a wall out, you have nowhere to put furniture. So we decided to open it up, but not open it up quite as much. So here, we're replicating what's happening on this side over here. So as we did upstairs, we're taking all the details here and just doing them exactly the way they're supposed to be here. We're getting a couple spindles made, so we'll have a spindle in here and a half spindle here. Here's a newel post we site made, and Matt is actually working on the cap right now. This is where we're going to put those heart pine treads that we were talking about upstairs. One here, one here. Very simple. They'll terminate into those newels. This gives us a really nice look. You know, everything's nice and symmetrical, and you know, it makes sense. It looks like it was always there. Over on this side, we're just adding in a couple of pieces of molding down here, up here, and of course here. We replaced what was originally there just so that we could have a more uniform look here, but it was pretty much the same molding. So we're continuing this straight through here and covering up any gap we have on the stairs. Right here, we're looking at a mock-up for a little molding detail that we're going to run up the stairs, which will cover the edge of our plaster. Because we added new plaster, it's a little bit thicker than what the old stuff was with the furring and all the space we needed to add. So we do need to add a little molding all the way up. And this is kind of what our mock-up is showing us here, what it's going to look like up there.